105.3 The Fan, Mike Rodriguez, Nathan Wood, Jeff Kavanaugh helping out as we bring you guys some great sports talk till 5:30. I am absolutely the first one to admit that I am in Mavericks playoff withdrawal. So anytime I hear anything about the Mavs this month of May, I'm pretty excited. And the news that came out this week is something that every Mavericks fan should get excited about. You're a big Mavericks fan, Nathan. Were you just stoked?
You know what? I'm a big Hoops fan, but I'm still holding on to the Mavericks just because of my absolute love for Dirk Nowitzki and everything he stands for. And what's been going on this week has done absolutely nothing but just cement that for me. Because looking back 10 to 15 years from now, when my kid asks me, Dad, who was the best athlete you ever saw in DFW? It's going to be Dirk, hands down. No doubt. No doubt about it at all.
The best athlete in DFW, you'd say, would be Dirk?
Not of all time, but I'm saying during this little generation gap right here. No, I'm sure there are a lot of people that would destroy me.
Don't you forget Staubach!
Captain America, yeah.
Well, the news that I'm talking about is the headlines that Dirk is willing to take a significant pay cut to lure one of the big free agents this summer. And he's all on board to doing everything that he can to get the guys like Chris Paul, to get the guys like Dwight Howard.
Mike, where would that sort of headline come from?
I'm reading it on Google. Yahoo
Amazing
Sports,
content from 105.3 The Fan.
and 105.3 The Fan.
That's your answer.
As Dirk was on The Fan this week talking to the guys, was it Ben and Skin, Jeff?
Ben and Skin, yeah.
And here's Dirk's take on his role in the offseason and what he's going to do to make sure that the Mavericks put a winner on the court next season.
Ultimately, I got 1 year left under this deal, and then I'm coming off the books. So, obviously, if that helps for us to be even better, I'm going to take a pay cut. By that point, I'll be 36, and so that's part of the pitch. Honestly, Cuban Donnie got to be part of the pitch, who've been proven over the years what they can do, and always be creative on spontaneous on deals and take risks. And so that's big. I think Dallas and the fans here, the sellout streak, the city to live in is gorgeous and has got to be in the top 5 in the league. So I think we have the program, and hopefully some of those guys decide to come. And if not, I think we got to have a plan B. If none of those top free agents come, then we got to make some moves. We got to make with signing trades or something. We want to get back to the playoffs and be a factor. We owe it to these fans who come out every single night to support us.
You talk about man crushes? I mean, how do you live in Dallas and you're a sports fan and not get the man crush on Dirk after listening to something like that?
He's done everything right. He's done everything right. He's won a title here. He already gave them one hometown discount. He saved him $16 million on this previous deal. Now, before we throw a parade for Dirk for taking this pay cut, which is something I think we all expected him to do, I didn't think it would be this little. I think he's talking around the range of like $7 million a year, which is less than what Sean Marion made this last year. He's going to have the second highest salary in the league coming in this next year. Only Kobe's going to make more money than him. So before we go, Dirk, you're the best man. Like, I love Dirk. I love Dirk more than any athlete. But he's made, they have this stat right here that from SB Nation that he's the 5th highest grossing player ever in the NBA. Okay? You got KG, Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Dirk. So it's not like, Dirk, it's not like a Latrell Sprewell situation where he's like, I can't feed my family on that. Dirk's made $200 million in his career, and he's going to make another 22 next year. So, that being said, this is what it takes to win here in Dallas, though, because Dirk is your biggest asset. Him and Rick Carlisle and Mark Cuban's ability to spend money. Those are your 3 biggest assets. And when your best player you've ever had, your franchise player says, I'm going to sacrifice the status of having a big contract, the money that goes along with it, and the ability to get whatever deal I want so that I can get other people in here to help me. Because you know how terrible the last 2 seasons have been for Dirk. To go from winning the title and have the absolute highest of highs, to see all your friends leave the team, and then to go into the tank where you get swept in the first round, and then to not even make the playoffs. It's come to the point where now, is $15 million, it's worth it to him to get 2 more guys to come here and help him.
Oh, absolutely. And what I love about this, And in this modern 2013 sports world, where it's very rare that an athlete starts his career with a team, wins a championship with the team, and then stays with the team, retires with the team, I love the fact that Dirk has now recognized and established himself as a guy that is going to go out with the Dallas Mavericks. You listen to that soundbite, and it sounds like Dirk is prepared to say, I love the city, I love living in this town, it's who I am now, it's a big part of what I am, and just knowing that we're going to watch Dirk and watch his final days as a Dallas Maverick, that's beautiful to me, because you don't see that in sports anymore. And, especially over the years in Dallas, watching the Emmitt Smiths wearing an Arizona Cardinals jersey and watching, even Pudge Rodriguez bounce around all those teams. And it would have been nice if a Pudge would have stayed with the Rangers for all those years. We're always going to be able to identify the Mavericks as Dirk Nowitzki's team. The way that you think, who's the Celtics? That's Larry Bird. Who's the Bulls? That's Michael Jordan.
Tony Kukoc.
Tony Kukoc.
Sorry, I was going to try and throw out a random play. Keep going. I want to play this game. Keep
Going.
Who's
the Grizzlies? Zach Randolph.
Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
Hell yeah.
Who comes to mind when you say Lakers, though?
Kareem.
Speaking of the age gap.
Kareem.
Kobe.
I go Magic.
Kobe.
I think you have to go Magic.
I go Kareem, then Magic, then Kobe, then Shaq, then Chamberlain.
Who do you guys think of when I say Sixers?
Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. And then Charles
Dr.
Barkley.
Sorry, Dr. J. It's
Yeah,
a
but he was
generation
so-
gap.
Dr. J's team.
He was so far beyond my NBA
But
viewing.
he won the championship.
But AI was the greatest scorer I've ever seen under 6 feet tall.
I think Eric Snow.
I could see Eric Snow.
What was Geiger?
point
What was
guard.
a big
Matt
Walt
Geiger?
Yeah, that guy was awesome. Okay,
Man, you guys love that Lakers series.
hell yes, that was awesome. And they had Dikembe in there too. But here's my thing. Okay, taking a pay cut is all fine, well, and good. That's going to help Donnie. That's going to help Cuban with being able to get people in here. But if you still can't get anybody here, a cheaper Dirk as still your best player is not going to get you anything. So this offseason, recruiting-wise, is going to be even bigger than it was last year and the year before that. Dirk also talked to Ben and Skin about how he's going to help recruiting.
Yeah, I'll definitely be a little bit involved. I'm actually going home in June for a bit, but I'll definitely be back for the draft. I told the guys I'll be in the draft war room for the first time this year, so that should be exciting. Order some pizza and talk some basketball. So I'm going to be involved in that. And then, obviously, free agency is right around the corner after that. So if Cubes and Donnie, if they want me to go anywhere, if they want to fly around for a couple of days and visit some people, I'm more than happy to help. I mean, like I said, this is a big summer, and we'd love to turn this thing quick around so this franchise goes back to where we really belong, and it's in the playoffs and fighting deep in the playoffs.
You know where this comes from? And I watched a lot of Mavericks games this year. I covered a lot of Mavericks games, and I remember seeing Dirk just standing there by himself, wide open, ready to pop a three, and Mollison, as I like to call him, Mayo and Collison, just had no clue where he was on the court, couldn't get him the ball, and Dirk's just standing there looking like, where's the ball, guys? I'm wide open, and you just passed it to Jay Crowder. I think Dirk has now realized that the players that he had on the team this year, I'm not going to say they sucked, but I'll say that Dirk has realized they weren't good enough.
I think they realized that even though they made the playoffs using that formula of throwing a bunch of decent players together, and I almost say making the playoffs the first year using that formula was the worst thing that could happen, because it just showed, it put the idea in the back of Cuban's mind that he could succeed doing that, when in reality that is not a good way to go about it. Whether or not him taking this giant pay cut will get either CP3 or Dwight Howard here, that remains to be seen. But we did see Mark Cuban at an event in Vegas talking to CP3, playing a little casino game.
So I want to hear.
The recruiting has begun.
That's
You know
what I wanna
what? You know
hear.
what that's better than?
Shark Tank.
Tank.
Now, Cuban also tweeted out a picture the other day, and I retweeted it, and it said, for all of you Mavericks fans that are curious to know what I'm concerned with this off season, it's like a TV shot of the playoffs. He's got this big notebook of notes in front of him, and the trophy, the Larry O'Brien trophy, sitting right next to him. So, Dirk's on board, Cuban's on board, we know Nelly's on board. This off season's looking good so far, Mike.